Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank all our viewers, those on YouTube, those on the Zoom platform, for joining our Safer Sex Forum. So we have a lovely presentation all planned for everyone today. Not sure if you can all hear me, but I want to welcome again to everyone. The theme for today is disbanding sexual myths. So we have a presenter who is a community outreach officer. I won't tell you who it is right now. I'll tell you when I'm introducing her. But the aim of this initiative is to increase education and awareness about our reproductive health. So we want to thank the team, the Community Students Office, for having this event to just educate us on safer sex, especially in a time where the bill and our ministers are advocating for our sexual reproductive health, especially as females. So our presenter today is Miss Shellyan Cowan. She's a community outreach officer, and trying to find her bio right now. Yes. So she's Holy Ghost filled, dynamic, self-taught content creator who loves children and puts her 100% in whatever she sets her heart on doing. So I want to welcome everyone again for joining today, and want to welcome our presenter. I'm not sure if she's ready, but if she's ready, she can go ahead and present because we're all anxiously awaiting her presentation. Miss Kawan.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Christina. I had a bit of internet issue there a while ago, so I didn't catch the last part. I'm not hearing. Hi, I'm not hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. So as I was saying, we were just introducing you as our presenter to give us some insight on what is it that you do and sexual reproductive health and everything. We're here to learn and you're here to teach us.
Okay, do I need to turn on my camera or just audio is fine?
Well, we would love to see who we're listening to.
Hi, good afternoon again, everyone. My name is Shellyan Cowan, and I am a community peer educator with the Southeast Regional Health Authority. And my work entails giving information about sexual reproductive health in order to assist or guide persons in making the right sexual choices. Yes, and we do that. There are different modes. So I work within the health center, where we offer HIV and syphilis screenings, so persons can know their status. We also do community visits. So we have specific communities that we work within, and we engage the community members where they're at, by having risk reduction and risk assessment in conversations while giving them the information. So we give them the information, HIV and STI basic facts, and we also have risk assessment and risk reduction conversations.
Okay, sounds like you do a lot there.
Yes, and I enjoy doing what I do.
I can see that you enjoy doing what you do. You're so passionate. What would you say to university students in terms of how often they should get tested, like protection wise, trying to understand this whole sexual reproductive element of life?
Well, my encouragement would be to, get tested every 3 or 6 months. So that's what we normally encourage persons to do, to get tested. However, if it is that you're having protected sex, then you wouldn't need to get tested every minute. So if you're putting the necessary measures into place to ensure that you stay negative, then you would need to get tested every 3 months or every 6 months. So condom use is very, very important, is paramount actually. So that is important. Using a condom, knowing your partner's status, knowing your status, and also knowing your partner's status. Because a lot of persons, knowing their status is good, and they believe that, okay, once I am negative, and that once I know that I am negative, then it's okay. And that means that their partner is negative also, but that's not the case. They also need to know their partner's status.
Okay, so I heard that you have a nice presentation for us today.
I do, and my technician stepped out a while ago, so hopefully I'll be able to share screen on my own because I'm not really familiar with sharing screen and stuff as it relates to Zoom. So I'm gonna see what I can do.
Okay, so we'll try our best to help you, in these times of technology with these young people. Not saying that we're old, but we're not so tech
Right.
savvy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can go ahead.
Okay, Shellyan,
Yes, I'm here.
is the presentation open on your laptop?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so can you look at the bottom of the Zoom screen? You'd see a feature called share screen.
Yes.
You can click the share screen icon.
Yes, and I think I found it. Are you seeing?
Okay, great.
Are you seeing?
Yeah, we're seeing it.
Okay. I don't know. Do I need to turn off my audio?
No, press play. Let me see if we can hear what you're saying. Okay, we're hearing.
Hi everyone, let's get right into it. So, what exactly is a myth? According to the Oxford Dictionary, a myth is a widely held but false belief or idea. Like a fable or legend, which usually has no supporting evidence or can be verified by credible sources. I strongly recommend getting the facts first from trusted sources before accepting information. STIs in general has myths associated with them, but today we'll be looking at HIV/AIDS specifically and some of the myths that have been going around about it. 8 of them to be exact. Myth number 1. HIV can be cured, even with herbal medication. This one is very common as people still believe that HIV has a cure. Hear me well, there is no known cure for HIV. HIV can only be treated with antiretroviral treatment. These work by blocking different stages of the virus's life cycle. By doing so, the virus is unable to replicate and make copies of itself. Herbal medicines do not work. In fact, herbal medication can be dangerous as they will not protect your immune system from infection. They may also interact poorly with ARVs if you're taking them alongside treatment. So I strongly recommend you leave those alone. Myth number 2. HIV is a death sentence. Please consider this fact before uttering such a statement. HIV is not a death sentence. HIV/AIDS has become more manageable and survivable thanks to life-saving advancement in treatment with antiretroviral medication that was introduced in the mid-1990s. This has significantly helped as HIV patients don't have to take 20 pills a day, which makes adherence easier, which automatically allows for viral suppression. Myth number 3. HIV and AIDS are the same thing. They have a connection, however, they're different. HIV is a virus and AIDS is a definition. AIDS is diagnosed by identifying a whole group of symptoms and diseases associated with the damage HIV does to the immune system. Myth number 4. HIV always leads to AIDS. The fact that HIV is a virus that causes AIDS, that does not guarantee that all HIV positive individuals will develop AIDS. Also, take into consideration that AIDS is prevented by early treatment of HIV infection. Simple, right? And with the current Test and Start initiative along with adherence, you're sure to reach viral suppression, which will in turn result in living a longer, healthier life. Myth number 5. You can tell by looking if someone is HIV positive. If you shouted no, then you're correct. You can't tell if someone is HIV positive as there are no definite signs and symptoms of HIV. However, some people will have flu-like illnesses. These include fever, chills, rash, swollen lymph nodes, night sweats, and fatigue, just to name a few. The onset of these signs and symptoms can appear within 2 to 4 weeks after HIV infection. These symptoms can last from a few days to several weeks. The only way to know for sure if you're HIV positive is to get tested. You can't rely on symptoms to tell whether you have HIV. Myth number 6. Once you test negative for HIV, you can have unprotected sex. Not quite. You might want to wait until you're out of your winter period for that. If you were recently exposed to HIV, it may not show up on a test until up to 3 months later. Individuals should take a second HIV test 3 months after possible exposure. Also, you want to be certain that your partner is negative and that there is mutual faithfulness within your relationship before considering unprotected sex. Myth number 7. If both partners are HIV positive, then they don't need to use a condom. Studies have shown that a person living with HIV who is on regular ARVs that reduces the virus to undetectable levels in the blood is not able to transmit HIV to a partner during sex. The current medical consensus is U equals U. Undetectable equals untransmittable. However, we strongly recommend that even if both partners are HIV positive, they should use a condom during every sexual encounter, due to the possibility of transmitting a different strain of the virus to his or her partner. Myth number 8. If I take pre-exposure prophylaxis, then I don't need to use a condom with my partner. PrEP is a highly effective medication that prevents HIV. If taken as prescribed by your doctor, it reduces the risk of getting HIV from sex by about 99%. And as I like to say, adherence equals effectiveness. A equals E. However, it does not protect against other sexually transmitted infections. Hence, condom use is necessary. How does PrEP work? PrEP works by setting up fortified walls around CD4 cells. The walls keep HIV from crossing into the healthy cells and replicating it. CD4 cells are white blood cells that play an important role in the immune system, which is your body's natural defense system against infections and illnesses. I hope this presentation helped you a lot. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.
You
Miss
are most
Tina.
welcome.
That was a really good presentation. Lots of myths that we didn't know
Yes.
were false. I'm sure many of us believed a few of them. So I think we're at that time where persons on our YouTube live as well as the Zoom platform can ask you, the expert, questions, and you'll provide the answers as the expert.
Well, I wouldn't say expert. I'm still in the learning process, but you can go ahead.
Well, until we get some questions in, we can talk about the double U. Is it W? U equal U? How did they come about with undetectable equals untransmittable? Because I'm sure not many persons are aware of this.
Okay, so the undetectable equals untransmittable. I'm not too sure how it came about, but what I can tell you is it is a medical consensus regarding HIV positive persons, because you have, you know, that persons who are HIV positive are able to become virally suppressed. And once you are virally suppressed, meaning the amount of viral load that is present in your blood, it is so low that it becomes undetectable. You won't be able to transmit it to your partner. So it's also a form of preventative method.
Okay, is there a time frame on that? Like after a certain amount of years, then it may become undetectable, or is
Well,
it that continuously taking their medication and how their body reacts to being medicated will eventually suppress it?
so there is, I would say there is no definite time span. It all depends on the person, all depends on the individual, whether they're adhering to medication, you know, they're eating right, they're exercising, and of course, using a condom every single time during sexual intercourse. You know, they'll be able to reach viral suppression within months. I've had, you know, clients that have reached viral suppression within a year. So it wouldn't take years, within a year and a half, even shorter. So it all depends on the individual, whether they're adhering to medication. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
Okay.
Okay, so we have some questions coming in. There's one. If someone finds out they have HIV, what would you recommend to be the first step?
What would I recommend to be the first step?
What is the recommended first step? Not necessarily.
So the recommended first step is to, get the confirmatory test done and to confirm if you're truly positive. If it is that the confirmatory is done and then you're positive, then, start your treatment immediately. Start treatment. Don't hide. Don't hide from it. Take the bull by its horns. Deal with the situation as it arises.
Okay. When someone has been diagnosed with HIV, are they obligated to tell their partners?
No, you're not obligated to tell your partner. It is recommended, however, disclosure, but it all depends on you. There's no obligation. It would be nice, right? Because if you're in a relationship and you really like this person, however, that person is, keeping that kind of secret from you.
Okay, because I would think that normally when they do the HIV test and you're positive, they would ask you like if you're sexually active in the past few weeks or days, unprotected sex, and they need to inform your partners. Is that just a myth or they actually do that?
If persons tell them that they need to inform their partner, that's a myth. That's definitely a myth. We don't tell persons that they have to tell their partner. But in our conversations during outreach, we let persons know that HIV positive people don't have to tell us they have it. That's their business. What you are responsible for is ensuring that a condom goes on during sex. So people don't have to tell you that they're HIV positive.
But I see somebody, Lyndon Adlam.
Oh, I'm seeing it.
Yeah, so but I think that even though you're not obligated to telling your partner that you're positive, give them the choice, because there's always a risk right there with having sex with somebody. That's
all right. So it starts with you, the individual. You should have it in your mind. Once you get involved with someone, you get into a new relationship, you should know that, or at least, have it in your mind that, I'm seeing a question. You're going to use a condom. You're going to use a condom. I'm seeing a question here.
okay. So is it that a condom protects someone from the HIV AIDS 100%?
Once it is used correctly. So once you use the condom properly, there are some steps that you need to know. Checking you have to check the expiration date. You have to feel for puffiness. You have to leave the space at the top, leave the inch, or, sometimes an inch and a half. Depending on the size of your partner, and just to leave room at the top, squeeze out the air, roll it down straight to the base of the penis. So you need to put it on properly in order for it to work, in order for it to be effective.
Okay, this is a
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I was saying, with all forms of sexual activity, because a lot of persons, when they engage in other forms of activity, they don't use condoms.
So I have another question coming in.
Sure.
They're asking if a person can have more than one STI at the same time,
Yes,
along with HIV.
definitely. As a matter of fact, you can have every STI that there is
Wow.
all at once. Yes, you can have several STIs at the same time.
There's a question on the Zoom. If antiretroviral drugs are free.
Yes, they are. They're free. Once you get treatment within the public
Okay,
health
I
sector.
know that there are probably 30 something different types of drugs that treat the virus, and you get a different drug based on your stage and what works for you. And I know Jamaica only has a few of those medications. So what if the ones that Jamaica currently have, they don't work for you? Will the health system import some stronger ones or other types that we don't like have throughout the system on a regular? Or you'd have to just go and source them yourself?
So in terms of that, I believe that the ones that they have here can work. But if it is that if your doctor sees some sort of issue, then, your doctor would advise you accordingly. And if you can afford to purchase the one overseas, then it's a go. But as it relates to HIV medication that is here, I haven't heard of any issue in terms of it not working for anyone.
Okay, so somebody is asking, is it possible for a HIV female to have a child without passing it on? If yes, how does it happen?
Yes. So once someone becomes, once she becomes pregnant and she gets tested, finds out that she is HIV positive, then she would go on ARVs, and that would, prevent or minimize the risk of the child being born with HIV. But again, it all comes down to adherence. Adherence is very important. I'm not hearing you.
Well, we already answered that because somebody was asking what is the cost of treatment for HIV, but you said that the antiviral drugs are free,
Yes,
or
yes.
they need additional medication that they would have to pay for.
Go again?
Would they need more than the antiviral drugs, or that's it in terms of treatment?
To my knowledge, it's this. Sorry, I got distracted from that question that just came up. So
Is it that
vitamins, they would get vitamin. There's no other medication. There's no other treatment. Once you're on ARVs, what I do know is that you would get, vitamins and, supplements, and they would get that too along with the ARVs. And remember, bear in mind that it's free within the public health centers once you're utilizing the public health sector. So if you go private, you're gonna have to pay for that.
Okay, and the question coming in, do HIV symptoms differ in men and women?
No, they're the same.
Okay.
And remember, sorry.
No, I was saying I think we should go over the symptoms. If there are any symptoms, so persons can adhere and get themselves checked out regular. I know many persons don't. They wait until they see a symptom or they feel a certain type of way before they actually get tested or checked out.
All right, so what I want everyone to know, do not rely on signs and symptoms for HIV. We do not encourage that persons rely on the signs and the symptoms of HIV. Reason being, the signs and the symptoms of HIV, those signs and symptoms are also signs and symptoms of other illnesses. So you may not have HIV, you may just have the flu. So we don't tell person to rely on them. Some people will have flu-like illnesses, which include fever, chills, rash, swollen lymph nodes, night sweats, and fatigue. And these symptoms can appear within 2 to 4 weeks after HIV infection. And they last up to several weeks, a few days to several weeks. But we do not encourage that persons rely on them at all.
Okay, so I think we have one last question.
Go ahead.
What STDs or STIs does the condom not protect you from?
So in terms of human papillomavirus, genital warts, anybody, I'm sure persons have heard of genital warts. So genital warts is a sexually transmitted infection. And if you come in contact with the warts, of course, they're on your genital area. Sometimes they can come up on the scrotum area, right? If you come in contact with those during sex, then you can contract them.
Okay, and I think this is the final one about support systems for persons living with HIV. How do they access like support groups or counseling to cope?
Once you're HIV positive, once you find out that you're HIV positive, as I like to say, the process begins. So you're automatically, connected to a peer navigator. But if you refuse, then we don't force you. If you don't want a peer navigator, then fine. This peer navigator will also connect you to the other persons who are a part of the care team, like the social worker, like, the adherence counselor, the case manager, and all the nutritionists. So it's a group of persons who are there to assist you on this journey. So you're not on your own. And of course, there are support groups. So once you're connected to the necessary persons, you'll be able to get into that.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm not seeing any more questions. But on behalf of the Community and Students Office, the team, and the students, we just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and present and just disband some of the sexual myths out there, especially in a pandemic when persons are at home or they feel like they should engage a lot more in sexual activities. We are so grateful for all this information, and I'm sure many of us had a lot of questions that you answered today. And I just want to ask, where can they find you?
Where can you find me?
If they need some more information.
Well, my base clinic is Olympic Gardens Health Center, and I am there on Mondays. No, not Mondays, sorry. I'm there on Wednesdays and Fridays from 8:30 to 12, sometimes 1 p.m. And I'm within the communities. I can't really give you a definite community because I don't want to I don't know if saying all over the place is a good thing, but yeah, we work in a lot of communities within Kingston and St. Andrew. So if you book me up one day, then yeah, but if you want to see me specifically, you'd have to come to Olympic Health Center on a Wednesday and on a Friday in the mornings.
Okay, and there are a lot more officers like you out there in different communities.
Yes, and even different parishes.
Okay, we're so happy to hear that this campaign is on the road, helping our people to be better, especially at protecting ourselves, because I know they always hear pinch, leave an inch rule, but they always seem to forget, or they say it feel better without a condom, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we have to help, especially our young people who are the future leaders, to protect themselves, to prevent anything, because this is not something that is cured, it's just treatable, and to help them to prevent any regrets that they may have going forward in life. I'm happy that you mentioned in your presentation that it is not a death sentence, as many persons feel like them life done if you get the virus. that
Can I tell you about it? Yeah, they think that it's over, but it's not over. You can live a healthy long life with HIV as long as you're doing what you should do from your end. And as I said, the care team is there. I am a peer navigator, so I'm telling you about what I do. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but eventually you'll have that smooth.
Yeah, so what message do you want to leave with our viewers today? You can leave a specific message and advice, something that they shouldn't forget going forward.
You're responsible for yourselves. Never forget that. You are responsible for yourself. Once you get into a relationship, don't leave the responsibility up to someone else. Take care of you. And you do that by using a condom.
Okay, thank you so much. You hear that, everyone? Take care of yourself. It is your responsibility to protect yourself. It's not anybody else's fault if something like this happens to you. Don't always depend on your partner to protect you. It is our responsibility. Thank you so much for joining and participating. For those who participated, it was a very good learning experience for all of us. And we just want to thank everyone again. A big thank you to the office, the Community Student Office, for putting on a forum such as this to help their students be guided. And I think there are a lot more forums like this to come, I'm told. So just
and I'm available. I'm available.
Yeah, so we just want to thank everyone for joining. And it's almost 1 hour. So thank everyone for joining and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, bye. Thank you so much, Christina, for having me.
Thank you for coming, Ms. Cohen. We look forward to many more discussions with you.
You're welcome. Bye. You're welcome, Shanice.